And I mean, this is where we have got to stop the Astros. Something woke them up, and this is not a game where you. For a man his size, he's an extraordinarily agile athlete, which makes him a good outfielder and a good base runner. So this is a what do you call it? Like a five-star player, right? He hits for power. He hits for average. No, he's a terrific defensive player. He's got speed and he's smart. A lot of people think the Yankees might not keep him. A lot of discussion today that the Mets might get Judge. I don't believe that's true. I evaluate Aaron as a Yankee for life. I do. And I think the Yankees will make a competitive offer. And I think Judge. Oh, no. Two misplays on that by Peralta. He had him out twice. So the ball was hit to Peralta. He misplayed it the first time when he went down for it. And then he misplayed it the second time when he went back for it, and could still have gotten him out. And he's doing something now with his hand. And we have gosh almighty, we have the manager and the trainer coming. It definitely hit his hand. You can see, oh my goodness, you can see he doesn't seem to be able to grasp that he got hit on the hand. So he goes to grasp the ball. He can't pick it up the second time. And he's now doing something with his hand. Now, I don't know if he wasn't able to pick the ball up, how he's going to be able to pitch. He's still looking at it and concerned about it. It's the pitching hand, of course. He was having great difficulty trying to pick up the ball. He missed twice, and now he's got himself one out and men on first and third. This is where... if you're particularly religious, you pray for a double play. I mean, this is the only way out of this. Now he threw over to first. Actually, he might have actually done that to make sure he could throw. I'm surprised that they didn't give him a couple of practice throws. I mean, actually, I would have asked for it. I mean, the guy couldn't pick the ball up, and now he's throwing it for a ball, but he still looked like he had a reasonable amount of speed on that. That's a strike, and it's a good pitch. Let's hope he's okay. Oh, no, he gave up a single. There's another run. The Astros have the lead. This is not what's supposed to happen in a game that you have to win. Let's put it that way. So we're now down by a run. And we're now down by 1 run. Peralta is still in. I would imagine this is the last batter that he will face. He still has only 1 out. 4-3 is manageable. We don't want it to go beyond this, and not in a clinch game. And not with the difficulties that we have ahead of us with the bullpen. So really important that Peralta stop it right now. Halt the Astros assault. 1 out, 2 on, first and second. It's been a very, very strange and difficult inning for the Yankees, who look like they were in command, both from the point of view of hitting and excellent pitching from Cortez. Something happened to Cortez. We don't know what it is, because the manager and the trainer came out 1 batter before the home run and seemed to be concerned about him. And Perez, who's pitching sort of out of position, has not been particularly effective. He's also hurt his hand and is still pitching, which has to give you some degree of concern. This was a good shot, and but Judge has it, which means everybody will stay at their base, because I told you, Judge has an arm that, I mean, it could be among the best in baseball. When you look at him, you don't you look at him and say something like defensive end? I mean, I was watching football today, and I was thinking, I bet he could really rush a quarterback. Remember, he's got speed too, right? He's 280. 280. I mean, he's the size of a pass rushing defensive end. Some people say, what about tight end? Usually they don't get up to quite 6'8", like 6'5", 6'6". Always liked in football having a tall, really, really tall, physical pass receiver. Always thought it made it easier on the quarterback. But I'm glad he's playing baseball. Can't imagine. Are you a New York Giants fan? Maybe I'll let you guys guess. Yeah, I'm a New York Giants fan. What a game today. What a game. I mean, I haven't seen too many like that. For those of you who haven't seen it, I'll tell you what happened today. But they should really show it on here. Let's see if Peralta can rally. Oh, no! Very nice catch by Falefa. Very nice, Falefa. Reminds me of Billy Martin's catch, a Jackie Robinson shot in the 1952 World Series, 53 World Series. See, I can relate it to things that happened in prehistory. Yes, good play. You're absolutely correct. That is, once again, New York lady always, who is commenting on the game. And we have some here from Florida, from South Beach in Florida, on our Getter group here. Amy loves Friedies. Someone here is asking, are you a single lady? I assume this is not directed toward me. The answer is, I know there's all this gender confusion nowadays, but I'm not confused. I am not a single lady. I guess I should just like directly answer the question. So Getter kind of came off again. So we're going to have to get Getter back. Currently unable to do something with Getter. Let's see, live stream, hit live stream. I see me on my screen, my Getter screen. I look exceedingly red. I wonder if that is true. And I want to apologize for a moment to my Twitter fans, because I'm going to clean this screen. Okay, we're going to do it.
Leah Fox says, my dad was a Yankees fan. Second favorite team was the Kansas City Royals. He never missed a World Series. Thank you, Rudy, for bringing back some beautiful memories.
Isn't that nice? And he had a second favorite team. I think that's very interesting. I never really had, the Mets become my second favorite team from the point of view of World Series in New York. But I tell you, in football, I've had second favorite teams. Maybe because of Vince Lombardi and his connection to the Giants and Fordham, and I was a Packers fan when the Giants weren't playing.
Madison Grace Hurley, hi from Nebraska. You're the best mayor and one of the reasons I want to teach government.
You want me to teach government?
No, she says you're the best mayor and one of the reasons she wants to teach government.
Well, I think you should teach government, and I think you should teach government. I'm not sure they teach it anymore. I think they don't even teach math anymore. I think they teach, 1 and 1 is whatever you say it is. This could be a hit. It is a hit to center field. So let's see if we can get those runs back right away. That would be a very good sign. I would like to. I'm looking at the Twitter thing here, and it looks like the screen is much, much better. So I'm glad that I cleaned it.
And Marie says you look great.
Oh, thank you. Do I look too red? I look red in something kind of really. Getter usually has great. Could just be the way we look here. I just wonder if would any of the Getter people indulge me and tell me if we look too red.
Darkness behind you,
oh, so maybe we should light something back there. Here, watch this. What about that?
Yeah, so then you get the contrast up behind you. Should help that.
It did help already.
Yes.
By putting that up. I'll go like that, say. Want to hear it? Reminds me of the fire bell.
Good color and clarity on YouTube.
No, I think that's right, and I think it's good on Twitter, and it just got a lot better on Getter by Ted making suggesting the backlight.
Hi from Southwest Chicago suburbs. Love baseball date nights with Rudy.
Well, Chicago's a big baseball city. I had some great experiences in their wonderful, iconic ballpark, including I was there when the kid interfered. One of my great baseball memories. I don't know how I ended up there, but what's that movie about the guy who ends up in all these places? Tom Hanks was in it.
Forrest Gump?
Oh, yeah, Forrest Gump. Sometimes I felt like Forrest Gump. So, of course, I was involved in September 11. I also was there a block and a half away from the first bomb that went off in London when they bombed London, when the Islamic terrorists bombed London. And, of course, in the hotel that I was speaking at, in the room next to me was Bibi Netanyahu, which we at first thought was the target of the attack. But then I spent the whole day working. I helped at the request of Tony Blair. I helped them. I went on went on television and gave advice about about how to handle an emergency. And I must say, the British handled it brilliantly. He's definitely safe. They keep replaying a pick-off attempt at first, but it's like not worth it. You're just seeing the same thing no matter what. So we got none out. We got a man on first. We got an inside pitch, which now makes it 3-2 if they ever change that stupid thing up there. Yeah, they just did. Donaldson's at the plate, who Donaldson really hasn't opened up yet. I mean, he's batting 182, 192 or whatever. And he's 0 for 1 tonight. It's about time that he got a hit. But it's also, he did what he's been doing, which is he struck out, which is a bad strikeout because it's sort of this is hard to believe, actually. I'm looking at that pitch that they struck him out on, and I think there was a real problem with it. It seemed like it was low. There's a wild pitch. Maybe not. Maybe a pass ball. I'd call that a pass ball. I think Maldonado should have made that play. And we have let's see it again. Well, it came up and hit his chest protector and went off in the other direction. That is almost, unless you're lucky, it's almost impossible to play that. I mean, the ball comes off the chest so fast, you don't know what direction it's going to go. You know, exactly. The only thing you could do is grab your stomach, I guess. I think I hope that my feelings as a prejudiced Yankee fan aren't getting there, but I'm looking at some pretty bad calls here. Not that one. That was right down the middle.
Man on second, 1 out. What's the batter trying to do? Of course, run in.
I would say his real objective here, if there was none out, his objective would be to hit the opposite field to move him to third. In his case, he doesn't hit it the opposite. To do what he just did, he's out, but he moved him to third. So we, of course, would have preferred a hit, but at least he got something productive out of it. He put him on third, but with 2 out. So, you know, with 1 out, the sacrifice fly or infield hit could bring him home. Now a wild pitch could bring him home. A hit to the outfield where the outfielder would have a play at the plate if he tried to come in from second. I mean, there were more possibilities of getting the run in with him on third than on second. So I would say we'd give him half a productive at bat for that. Had he been up with no outs or 1 out and moved the man to third, then that would be a very productive at bat. Because then this, the sacrifice fly would be in order. So there's no balls and 1 strike on Falefa, who had a hit in the first time at the plate and has one of the few respectable Yankee batting averages, .313, but he hasn't played that much. He batted .261 for the season, which again, for a shortstop, is a good average. The Yankees are not convinced of his defensive, I wouldn't say defensive abilities. He's quite a good shortstop, but is he excellent enough is the question. So they've experimented with shortstops during this playoff. And I don't think they did it for offense because he's more, I would say he probably offensively is better than his substitutes. Certainly has a better batting average. I was when I've watched him, I'm pretty impressed with his abilities at short. But I can't say that I've watched him enough yet to. I mean, they obviously watch him a lot more carefully than I do. He fouls the ball to the opposite field. There are 2 out, 2-2. And there's a man 90 feet away from tying the game. Very, very tantalizing. And you'd like to be back in this game as soon as possible. Would Boone attempt a suicide squeeze? With 2 out, I'd say no. He's not Billy Martin. I would say Aaron Boone is a very smart baseball man, but who plays all the. I mean, he's not a gambler. Now, Buck Showalter, who used to manage the Yankees way back before looks like he struck out, throw to first, and we didn't get the run back that inning, which I don't like. Speaking of Boone, Boone doesn't take chances. So from my point of view, I kind of like managers. Buck did it during the season. Well, that's good. You must be a Met fan. Yeah, Buck did it with the Yankees too. I mean, he was always a guy that was willing to gamble. I think of Billy Martin because he was legendary for it, but Buck would gamble quite a bit. Believe it or not, Torrey also was not a completely just statistical manager. He managed a lot on gut instinct. Why are we taking that out? Oh, he's charged? So how are we doing with our, we have to pay some attention here to our Getter fans to make sure everything is okay. Is everybody hearing things well? And is everything going, the way it should over here? I thought that light helped, right? Should we play around with a little more light? Let's see what this does.
The problem with that, it kind of comes into each other's.
See if it comes in my face like that.
Then it's coming directly at our YouTube.
Oh, at the YouTube.
Which
Attacking
I can move,
YouTube?
but I can move.
You're attacking YouTube. You can't attack YouTube. You're not allowed to do that. Yo, let's get it nicely done here. Put it up like that.
One Pan Wonder says this stream is such a pleasure. Thank you so much, Rudy and
Well,
crew.
thank you for joining us because I'm having a lot of fun. How about that? I mean, I'm really enjoying it too, and I'm enjoying your questions. You see, we switched to a smartphone, not an iPhone. It's a Samsung. It's just a little harder to see what you're writing than it was when we had the big iPad here.
Dan writes, Mr. Mayor, thanks for everything you have done for New York and the country. That's
Really very nice. I wonder, Ted, they might not understand what we're discussing right now, but I wonder if you could open the big screen here and film me.
Where you can see yourself.
Yeah, but we like it better this way because it's a prettier.
Better picture.
Yeah.
But this is what you can do there.
The one good thing.
Yeah, right here. This is that feed right here.
Oh,
this is that.
And then I can get some of their.
This is the live chat. This
So
is
therefore,
going strong.
so now that's nice because I can see that.
Ladies and gentlemen watching on YouTube, the mayor is now
I can look
looking
at
to comments
it,
live.
but
So if you have a nice message for the mayor, now's the time.
And let me ask Ted, Ted knows this much better than I do. Why don't we get similar things here on Twitter, like
numbers and chat? It's kind of a different platform used for different reasons.
We get a lot here.
Yes.
So I'm gonna
get a lot here too.
Gonna make a suggestion so that we do this efficiently. Why don't you cover that and ask me the questions from YouTube?
Sure.
And is there any way of getting this on here so that we can, I can see those better?
Yes, I will work on that now.
I'm going to see, because these are hard to see. Just now, Rudy for vice president. Isn't that interesting? We've got nominations going on. He doesn't look at us much. Got to time it right for that something question. Haha.
So they're saying that, you're getting a lot of questions from all three platforms.
Yeah.
And for us to keep up.
I'm trying hard to balance, I'm trying to do one of those things like one of those hitters. Jeter was great at this. Equal number to left, equal number to center, equal number to right. And as a baseball player, I was a little more of a spray hitter than an opposite field or pull hitter. So I did hit to all fields. In fact, I always wonder why people, Rudy, you would be an awesome VP.
Mayor, can you give just a nice shout out to two individuals who have been helping moderate the comment section on YouTube? The live chat has been very active, and you can have folks that are with us help us out.
I'd love to.
Jet, we have Jet, and we have Daryl.
Jet?
Yes, J-E-T-T.
Jet, like the New York Jets?
J-E-T-T.
Oh, Jet. Jet with two T's. Jet, thank you very much. Daryl, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And I appreciate it because if you're having a good time, I have to tell you, I'm having a good time. This is very enjoyable, and we're getting a lot of good questions. I just wish I could see a few of them better.
We'll work on that.
But I'm doing a little better here. I'm going to just move that, if you don't mind. Do you know Vin Scully? Of course I know Vin Scully. Oh, my goodness. And do I think he's one of the greatest play-by-play people in the history of baseball? The answer is yes, if he isn't the greatest. I mean, I have a childhood and emotional attachment to Mel Allen and Phil Rizzuto. And now my great friend Jack Sterling. But Vin is, he's Mr. Dodger, and he's just one of the great play-by-play announcers ever. I can imagine. I have some that I think are equal to him. Don't think there's anybody better than him. And I think that when you get to that level of baseball announcer, it's a question of taste, what you like. It's a question of familiarity. It's a bit of a question of fan, loyalty to your team. But Vin Scully's a legend. If I wanted to be a baseball announcer, and obviously I'm not, you can tell, but if I wanted to be, I would watch him. I go back and watch his games, and I don't think you should ever imitate someone if you're going to be an announcer or an actor or a lawyer even. But I would certainly think he'd teach you an awful lot more than anybody else. I guess if you imitated him, you wouldn't be bad, right? Also, the thing about all those guys that you should understand, they really prepare. You all think they just come in and just do it. You should see the amount of reading and I used to be very, very honored when I was the mayor to go in the Yankee booth, and I was always impressed with the amount of preparation they did and all the details they had. And of course they had help, but they had to, the one thing about speaking it eventually has to get into your head so it can come out your mouth. So sure, somebody can prepare it, but you got to speak it. You got to understand it in order to speak it. Well, a lot of these sports guys, you know, you see them make transition to politics and you say, gosh, they're really smart. But you can't do this if you aren't smart. I'm thinking of my good friend on ABC, Sid. And I believe Sid started as sports guy, you know, and then with Imus, and now he's got the #1 morning show in New York with his partner, or was with his partner, Bernie McGurk, who tragically died several weeks ago. But Sid is about as knowledgeable a political commentator and intelligent as he is sports. And that was probably always the case. I mean, this is no different with football. I mean, you think how complicated a sport football is. My goodness. To be able to understand it and explain it and keep it interesting and not get confused. So the end of the Giant game today ended, unlike very, very few games ever end. It ended with, ended on the 1 yard line. It's unbelievable. I don't even know how to describe it. Baseball is harder for me to understand than football. I can see that. If you've never played it and you haven't been exposed to it sort of, you know, in your family over a long period of time, and et cetera, it's much harder to go from no knowledge to teaching baseball than it is from going from no knowledge to teaching football. The idea, first of all, the idea of, you know, just scoring, how you score, the way the field is organized, and you have to get 10 yards. Even the 4 downs are pretty easily explainable. It's almost like a city built on a grid like New York, where it's much easier to explain to people how to get to, you know, to 6th Avenue and 3rd Street, right? So the Yankees are now at the plate. We're in the bottom of the 4th. We're leading off with Jose Trevino, who has not done much offensively, and it doesn't look like he can do much this time. He just grounded out to the 3rd baseman. So we have a quick 1 out. What we need is a quick hit to make sure that we get back in this game, get it tied, and don't fall any further behind. It was a good scoop by the first baseman, but he had Trevino by a long way. He had Trevino by 4 or 5 steps easily. This should be up the middle. And Falefa gets his 2nd hit of the game. Oh, I'm sorry, it was Bader. The leadoff hitter gets his 2nd hit of the game.
We can do this again.
He is certainly he has certainly recouped, I would say. So now I have a little thing here for Getter, and that's good. I'll just put it right here like this. I'm gonna get something for it in a minute. Put it right here for now. Good. Just leave it right there like that, and then we'll put the other.
Good without it.
Giants dragged that receiver down and delivered today. They sure did. They sure did. No question about that. They were playing in Jacksonville. Came down to the last play of the game. Jacksonville got down to the 1 yard line. In other words, 1 yard away from scoring what would have been the tying touchdown, which would have given him a chance to kick the winning point after touchdown. And the receiver was literally stopped and driven back on the 1 yard line by really heads up defense. But you don't often see the game end on the 1 yard line with the other team literally 1 yard away, but without time tying the game. And it's a long series of things that went wrong, including they put like 40 seconds back on the clock over a disputed, very, very close situation. Saquon Barkley as to whether he stayed in or went out of bounds. And it was called back and the time was put back on the clock. And the Giants have been winning games in the fourth quarter now quite a bit. And that's a sign of a good team. Now there's a fly ball. It's hit very, very far, very, very far. But again, it stays in the ballpark for Judge. He just can't seem to get that extra pop on the ball. Now this one looked like it had a chance. It was hit very, very hard. He kept him very low, and that one was hit like the home run he hit the other night. It was like a fly ball. It goes to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark, and it's caught on the warning track, I'd say 4 or 5 feet from the wall. Had it not been caught, it would not have been a home run. It would have been a double, could have been a triple. There's another pass ball, and Beta goes to second, which, 2 outs again, unfortunately. Joe Biden would be a funny commentator for baseball, don't you think? You really want me to answer that? I could do an imitation. I think you might run into things like he might think different teams were playing. You could. I mean, Rizzo's at the plate now. You could have something like Corn Pop is now at the plate. I beat him up in the schoolyard. I really did. I did, and that was the same schoolyard where I used to go. I used to go in the pool, and I just loved it when the little children used to touch the hair on my legs. Am I making that up? Of course not. No, I'm not. The Yankees have just tied the game as I was making fun of the president. But, Saturday Night Live's afraid to do that. I'd go on and imitate Biden for it. What's the imitating Biden? First of all, one that we could do a skit looking for dead people that I knew were dead but just forgot. The ball game is now tied, and I would say the ignition in this game, he's just crossed the plate, was Bader, and the movement to him as the leadoff hitter, which happened last night and didn't do much, really worked tonight. First of all, he started the game off with a hit. He started this inning off with a hit. And he's running with a bandit and without fear. So now we're 4-4, which is, of course, a lot better than 4-3. And we got a Yankee crowd that's up on its feet and back in the game. And, of course, we've got another guy that's quite capable of putting this thing right out of the ballpark. Giancarlo Stanton, who has a hit tonight. It hasn't been a good series, but it doesn't matter with players like this. I tell you, they're always a danger when they're at the plate. This is a guy who can just stretch out his bat and it goes 500 feet, Like Judge, he hits the Mickey Mantle type tape measure home runs. And then he also hits the ones that are, I think they could kill you if they hit, the 113 mile an hour, 115 mile an hour hit. But I don't think it's going to be one of those now. It's just a ground ball to short. And Altuve steps on second. The Yankees are retired, but they are tied now with the Houston Astros. And I believe that Losaga will be coming in to pitch, which is a good choice. Losaga is about the best pitcher he's got in the bullpen for this. And Losaga has alternatively been a starting pitcher. So if Losaga is pitching well, and we have to hope that he is, he can cover 3 or 4 innings, at least 3, I would say, without too much difficulty.
Molly Don, who is a regular listener to all of our Yankee playoff game live streams, asks.
Thank you.
Molly is her name. Asks, Mayor, were you ever in the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the old home of the Minnesota Twins and the Minnesota Vikings?
I was at
the Herbert H. Humphrey Metrodome.
I know. Didn't bother me. There was Humphrey was a Democrat. Yeah. I mean, not only that, I remember watching some pretty darn good World Series there. And I wasn't there personally, but I mean, I watched them on television. I mean, they've had some pretty good ball teams. I even remember, let's see if she remembers. I remember the old ballpark, the original one they had that was out like near the shopping center.
Mall of America?
No, Mall of America. You're a baby. It was way before Mall of America. I've forgotten the name of it. It was their original ballpark when they went to Minnesota. It was really a fun ballpark. It was kind of in a suburb.
Molly,
seems to me, Molly, it was about 30-minute drive from Minneapolis and maybe a 40-minute drive from St. Paul. We'll look it up if we have to, but maybe you can help us with it and tell us what the name of that ballpark was. It was you knew they were going to build something bigger because it wasn't quite major league.
Tomcat asks if it was in Bloomington.
That's it. That's the one in Bloomington. Yeah, I went out there. I went out there for a couple of games to see. I don't even think it was the Yankees. I went out the Tigers. I remember them playing the Tigers.
Do you remember?
I even remember the team they were playing. And it's when the Tigers had that funny pitcher who used to
Mark Fidrich.
Yeah, Fidrich. I went to
the Bird.
Yeah, the Bird, and they were having a lot of fun with him. They brought the Minnesota fans, or maybe the people came from Detroit, brought birds with them and let the birds free during the game. And
Bill says he thinks that is actually the site of what is now the Mall of America, potentially the old stadium.
I believe it is. Yes.
A lot of comments on Minnesota.
It was a nice ballpark. I mean, probably, as I said, not a major league ballpark.
Eugene says it was called Met Stadium. Do you remember that being the name?
I don't remember the name of it. I remember it being in Bloomington more than I do Met Stadium. It also was at the original Jared Stadium. Does anyone know where Jared Stadium was? Let's see if anybody can put Jared Stadium. It doesn't exist anymore, but who played in Jared Stadium?
So if you know the answer to that question,
if you know the answer
comment
to that question,
below.
If you know the answer to that question, I will give you a prize. I'll praise you. And I'm going to have a quick, I'm not supposed to advertise things, but this is a Diet Pepsi. It kind of wets my whistle. Despite the left wing calumny and defamation, I basically drink soda. Yeah, they love to. The one that really is, well, I shouldn't really complain about that stuff. I'll tell you this interesting story later because it's such a big lie. Oh, there's a real shot down the line, and the Yankees lucky that is foul. I mean, that was so that, when we were talking about the way Stanton and Judge hit those 110-mile-an-hour shots, that got to be a 100-mile-an-hour shot. That was a bullet. Look at that. Ooh. But like in golf, it was tailing off.
For next commercial break, Mayor, you're getting a lot of questions about your top Yankee player, which we've named before, and then someone asked your top 3 Yankee players.
I don't know. Is there any way we can show them 2 of my favorite pieces of Yankee memorabilia sitting right near us? One is a seat from the original Yankee Stadium. The other is the number 5 jersey of Joe DiMaggio, worn by him the last year he played for the Yankees in 1951. That was his jersey.
Whose jersey is this, Mayor?
Joe DiMaggio.
This is Joe DiMaggio's jersey from
He wore it in 1951. It was his last season with the Yankees. Mickey Mantle's first season. And it was the Great World Series of 1951, in which Joe DiMaggio played in his last World Series, and Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays played in their first World Series. So that's a World Series to be reckoned with.
This is a jersey from that season.
That's the jersey he wore.
He wore it. Wow.
He wore that jersey.
Then you want to tell us the second piece of memorabilia?
The second piece of memorabilia is a seat from the original Yankee Stadium, the Babe Ruth Yankee Stadium. Now, I'm sure it probably...
Piece of shit.
The Babe Ruth seats, I'm sure that wasn't there when Babe Ruth was there. But it was there before they remodeled the old Yankee Stadium.
All right, let me...
in the early 70s.
I think I'm going to shut this down and then... because I got a couple videos that I need to make. Couple of responses that I don't want to address them right now in the middle of this stream because ain't nobody gonna see them. So, yep, I was just in there having fun trolling. At first they were not blocking at all, and then they found the hide button and all that shit. So, whatever. They can fuck off. Hopefully his nephew or his son or whoever that is that's in the room with him reading the chat, but patting people on the butt who are blocking people. Hopefully he'll, maybe he'll read a few of those comments and maybe do a little bit of research, or maybe just ask his whatever Rudy is to him in private, and maybe Rudy will say something that might make the kid become a truther. Who knows? We can only hope. But I just wanted to know how many times he had been on Lolita Express. He said that at one time he said, "Oh, my good friend Alan Dershowitz," and I was like, "Okay, time to really troll," So I hit him pretty hard on the Epstein and Acosta connection and all that stuff, and they love that stuff. But again, I'm going to jump off so I can do these few videos that I need to do. I just got in gluing up one of the legs to this bench that I'm making right now. I can't show you. I can't turn my computer that way to show you guys, or I would. But it's just a glue up process right now. I'll show you. I'll take a picture of it. All right, let me take this off and start cam. That's one of the legs right there. Can you see it? So after I take those clamps off, I got to sand it down because I got a lot of glue spewing out and all that stuff, which is a good thing. You always want to have glue out. So I'm going to sand it, do the other leg, and then do the rungs that are going to go across, which are going to be 42 inches. And then I have to decide if I'm going to burn it or just stain it. So that's what I've been working on today. Getting all those pieces cut and glued up and all that stuff. So again, thanks for hanging out. I thought that was pretty funny. Rudy Giuliani is like trying to do like YouTube play-by-play for the Yankees. Like the Yankees don't fucking give a fuck about him that much that they're not even going to invite him to the fucking game. He's got to watch it from his house and play fucking Vin Scully from his house. Anyways, that shit's funny. I'm seeing you guys jump in right now. What's up? Anybody want to jump on live? Anybody got something to say? Say something if you're going to say something. Because I got, like I said, I got some reaction, or not reaction, some videos to make on some comments that were left on a couple videos. It's, you know, it's the same fucking protectors, the, you know, David Tadashini protectors or whatever. It's funny because he sent me another comment today. I'll tell you guys about it, and then I'll make a video about it showing you guys. But he said something like, okay, do you guys remember when Aaron Victor Cox went on his live stream and said, what, am I supposed to throw away 20 years because I supported Beware Mouse, a convicted pedo, right? Remember that? And then he said, oh, well, his thing probably doesn't even work anymore. Well, one of David Tadashini's fucking cucks and protectors said pretty much the same thing in one of my comments. No cap. He said his shit probably doesn't work anymore. You believe that shit? They all think alike. They all think the same, man. Fucking sick. So, anyways, I'll be uploading that video probably tomorrow. Maybe tonight, depends. I mean, I only have a few to do, and like I said, it's just reacting to a couple comments or whatever. So I'll see you guys. Cheers.